Do you want to more easily be able to influence others' decisions? Do you want to get your way more often? Do you still want to be liked while you're doing it and maybe not even let people know that you're doing it? If so, here we go. Welcome to the Executive Mom Show. This is part 2 of how to influence people's decisions. These principles are coming from this book. This book is wonderful, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's hard to read. There's too much. You don't have time to read this, so I'm going to tell you the key things. There is a lot here, and as female leaders, we really need this because unfortunately we are less liked as we get more successful. And when we try to get our way, we are less liked, and that's not serving us well. I hope we change that in the world. That is one of my missions. However, in the meantime, we need some strategies to more easily get our way because we're right. We're always right. So I am busting out a PowerPoint because there's a lot of key points here and we don't want to miss any of them. So influencing others. What do we do here? Let's see. So we're starting at principle 7. Remember in the other video, part 1, I did the first 6 principles. Hope you enjoyed that video. So number 7, how do you get cooperation? Do you like your ideas? I love my ideas. My ideas are brilliant. And guess what? I think you think your ideas are more brilliant than my ideas. And you're right, because that's how you think, and that's what I think as well. So principle number 7 is let the other person feel the idea is their own, even if the idea is the same. The way you phrase it, you're going to like a lot better than the way I phrase it. Let them phrase it their way, and they're going to love it, okay? So first, how do we do this? You need to be patient. You need to take that, I would say this quite often, you need to take that dose of your patience pill because, again, they've got much more faith in what they're thinking. So here's what we do. We're going to ask some questions. Some of these are actually not from the book. This first one is this is my advice of what I do and what I've learned in my career thus far is first ask them what they have already done or already tried. It is so frustrating when you come to someone and they've already done this idea and you suggest it. That is how you start the conference. It's so annoying. It's like, of course I thought of the very easiest low-hanging fruit to try. Of course I did. So don't start throwing out suggestions of stupid things that they already tried. That didn't work for them. Okay, that's going to frustrate them. So we're gonna listen for a while. You're going to ask them, what have you already done? What have you already tried? Write it down. You're not going to suggest any of those things. Unless one of those things was your idea, you're going to be a little more curious to understand why it didn't work. Ask them what they think. What do you think? Okay, they gave you the list of what they tried. You might know. Let's pretend you have an idea that they didn't already try or didn't already think of. Ask them what they think. You'd be surprised. 50% of the time, they're thinking of your idea, and then it's like golden ticket. You're getting your way, which is great. Now, if they don't, let's pretend you have what you think is the best idea. They don't come up on it on their own. Be casual about it. Do not jam your idea down people's throats. I used to do that. I was married to my ideas because they were just so brilliant and wonderful, and I just couldn't wait to tell people what they were, and I wanted to save time. I didn't want to sit here and listen to all the crazy ideas that they tried. So I shouldn't say crazy. I should say, out there. Out there is great. But give them options. Maybe try, here's an option. Here's another option, and here's a third option. And maybe the second option is your favorite. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Make it subtle and don't be married to it. And lose the need to get credit for your brilliant idea. You want to focus on the outcome. We care about you getting your way big picture. We don't care whose idea it was, and if it's their idea, they're going to like it a lot better. Moving on to number 8, a formula. There's a formula. We have a plan. We have a strategy. And I'm looking at my notes here to make sure that I don't forget anything. All right. So here's the formula. Principle number 8. Seek and understand their point of view. They don't think they're wrong. So let's say you have an idea and they have an idea. They do not think that they're wrong, even if they are. Okay? So that makes it a whole different playing game. Seek to understand their point of view and then read it back to them. Say it back to them to make sure you got it right. I do this all the time. And sometimes I learn something new. Sometimes what I thought they said is not actually what they said. Brings a lot of clarity. Spend time repeating it back to them. It's very helpful. And then when they hear you repeat it back, they know you're listening. You are listening and it feels good. We're giving them a boost of goodness here. And then also just become interested. You know what? You're all bored anyway. You might as well become interested in whatever it is you're debating about and really understand kind of their cause and how they came to understand it this way and why they think this one thing. So make it somewhat interesting for yourself. So let's see if I forgot any key points on number 8. Yes, cooperation. Here we go. Cooperativeness in conversation is achieved when you consider the other person's ideas and feelings as important as your own. It's again that feeling of making them feel important and you have considered their opinions and thoughts. Moving on to principle number 9. What does everyone want? There is something that everyone wants, and it's really evident in kids. You know, kids are little ids, right? We got the ego and the id and whatever else. And they just get to be the id. And what's interesting is, you know, we're the same as kids, but we've just had a little more years of experience and we've learned to kind of hide some of that idness. So what is the one thing everybody wants? Everybody wants sympathy, which is principle number 9. Give it to them. Serve it up on a silver platter. Just give it to them. You can be sympathetic to their ideas and their desires. You can say, oh, I don't blame you for wanting that. I would want that too if I were in your situation, because truly you would, because if you were them and they want it, that's a true statement because they want it. So if you were them, you would want it too. So that we're not lying here, okay? It's it's kind of weird, but it's a true statement. So my kids are a perfect example of this. Both of them, boys, girls, doesn't matter. When I pick up, we're going to talk about my daughter first because I pick her up first. When I pick her up from school, the first thing she wants to show me, Mommy, my boo-boo. And she's got some big Band-Aid wrapped around. Oh, Mommy, look. And what do? I just give it to her. Oh, honey boost, what happened to you? Oh, sweetie, tell Mommy. And she just lights up. She's partly because I'm so over the top dramatic, because it's really comical for me. I'm just bored to death and can't wait for her to tell me about, the second finger boo-boo she got that day. I just really serve it up, and both kids just can't get enough. And, it doesn't, I don't think I'm rewarding. This is something that already exists, but it gives them this sense of love and attention. And if that's how they need to get it that day, then I'm just going to give it to them. And you know what? This works on adults as well. I had a situation. I was so busy at work, just really busy, which I enjoy. I like being busy. I like adding value. It was a little over the top. And my husband said to me, oh, you poor thing. You are so busy. How are you doing it? And I just oh my gosh, I lit up like a Christmas tree. I just couldn't get enough. I felt so good and I was motivated to go do more things. And I was just so happy that he was caring enough to give me the sympathy. It works for adults as well. So you can use it. Give it to them. Everyone's starved. We're all thirsty for this sympathy. Number 10. This one is something that appeals to most everyone. Okay, we're not going to make it absolutely everyone. And this is number 9. Appeal to people's noble motives. So what do we mean by noble? Noble is like those fine personal qualities or those high moral principles that you have in your ideals. Like you want to be a certain person, right? So people have 2 reasons for doing something. The one that sounds good, I want to save the world. And number 2, the real reason. In order to change people, appeal to number one. We don't need to point out number two, the real reason. It's there. It's the id. It's what they want to do. I fundamentally believe everybody does what they want to do ultimately. And if they can make it sound real nice, then they're going to go for that because obviously that makes them look and feel a little better. I'm going to give you an example of this in the book, in our favorite book. There was an example of, I believe it was a famous man, and this newspaper kept publishing this picture of him, and it was a very bad picture, and he really didn't like it. He kept asking and asking, please don't print this picture. Please stop. And they ignored him. Then finally he said, he called for the 10th time, please don't publish that picture of me anymore. My mom doesn't like it. That kind of spoke to the editor of like, you know, I have a mom and I would know how she would feel if someone was, you know, publishing this picture that she didn't like. It worked. They took it down immediately. So that's just an example of how you can use this principle. All right, number 11, do what the movies do. What do the movies do? What do they do? I know they entertain us. So number 11 is dramatize your ideas. Make it interesting. We're super bored. People are super bored, especially all day at work. So use some showmanship, okay? Use some props. We got the book. Here's the book. You can look at the book. Got a bookmark, right? Tell a story. Tell a really interesting story. I love to hear people's stories. My kids love to hear my stories. My stories are terrible. It doesn't matter. We want to hear a good story. And then demonstrate. If you have something that you're trying to demonstrate, you know, like this. I love this. I've shown this before. This is like a good little spray thing. Demonstrate. You can spray it and it's got some sparkles and then your skin looks amazingly sparkly and we don't have to use self-tanner because that stuff stinks. This smells so good. Demonstrate. Show people the thing. And don't worry, I will link this below. This is Patrick Ta. It's a little sparkly glow for your body. And again, it smells like fantastic. You can just put it on there. So I'll link that below in case you're just dying to know. Principle 12. What to do when nothing else works. Okay, you've tried all these strategies. You watched the first video, part 1. You've tried all 11 principles. Nothing's working. We're kind of desperate now. I actually don't know if this one works. I think this is more tailored for men, but I threw it in here because, you know, you might have a lot of men colleagues. Maybe it works on women. I would love to hear your thoughts. I don't know if this would work for you. It works for my kids. I have a boy and a girl. It does work for both of them. Okay, throw down a challenge. Stimulate some healthy competition. I threw in these facts from Frederick, and actually those facts are not quite relevant. So I'll get to those. I just thought they were interesting, but let's focus on the throw down this healthy competition. So there was an example in the book of the leader of this company. He felt the production was a little slow. They were making 5 units a day. So he went down there and he said, hey, y'all, we've been consistently making 5 units a day. I wonder if we could do 10 a day. I think that would be really interesting. And I'm going to split you up in teams. He would split them up in the evening. They had an evening shift and a late shift. So each shift was making 5. He's like, I want to see if y'all can make 10. Let's see what happens. The competition went wild. They immediately started making 10, then they started making 20, and they couldn't wait to see what the night shift was going to do, and they wrote it on the wall like, we got to 25 today, and then the night shift would come in, they'd be like, we got to 35 today. It was like this wild competition, so fun. It's free, and the quality, you know, who knows? I don't know what happened to the quality. Maybe the units were terrible, but I think this is a good idea to try. I do this with my children as well. I will tell them, usually at nighttime, hey, the first one to get in the bath gets 20 points. The points are worthless. There's no points. Like, I don't know. Points aren't worth anything. They've never asked me about the points. They immediately run upstairs, start ripping off their clothes, and they get right in the bath. And whoever was first, you know, wins. So this healthy competition, I think it can work. It works on my daughter. So maybe it works on males and females. I don't know. So While you are really having these close conversations, trying to get your way, let me get rid of this PowerPoint for a second here. You need something. You really need something. I am going to be the friend. Women, I'm speaking to you. You need to shave your face. Do you ever wonder why men age so much better than women? Why do men age so much better than women? Because every day they're shaving their face. They're exfoliating every single day, and they age better. We need to shave. You don't need to shave every single day, but this is exfoliating. So here's what I've got for you. And you have a mustache. You have a mustache, and your friends are not telling you. So I'm going to be your friend. Here's what you need. This is the Tinkle. I really like this. This is good for small areas, maybe like right here. Or you can do what I do. I actually just use my husband's razor. This is from Dollar Shave. We are fans of Dollar Shave. They just send you the razors. They send you the thing. This is the upgraded one. You have different choices of what you pick. I really like this. I use this for everything. My legs, everything, and my face. And this works great. No, your peach fuzz will not grow in darker. You won't get more hair. Ladies, you also need to check out here. Y'all need to look there. I don't totally shave my neck, but maybe I'll start because I think it could look a little better with some exfoliation, but I get like one thing there and I got to get that out. So take a close look at your face because you need to shave it. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day.